Okay, so just so you know, this morning, we're actually gonna start sitting on our butts. So you guys are all standing up like ready to go. And I'm like, okay, sit down. So we're gonna actually sit down in a sort of a little bit of a, if you're my yoga friends, we do a little seated ragdoll. So nice bent knee position. So knees kind of bent, feet about hip or shoulder width distance apart. We just want to have the ability to hold on to our knees. And we're going to take some cat and cows here. So it's a nice arch of the back and then a rounding of the back. So think about lifting the chest and squeezing the shoulder blades together and then rounding your back and getting a little stretch in between the shoulder blades. And then just keep that going. We're just giving our spine a little chance to wake up and get involved. So feel your shoulder blades. Open your chest just a little bit. Move your spine and let it get nice and fluid. 15 seconds left. Nice time. Set your feet down. So now feet are going to be a little bit planted. Walk your heels in just a little bit closer and lean back. So we get a little bit of a V sit. And then we're going to start our little sit and reach. So thumbs to the chest, alternate sides. And you're just going to lean back a little, reach, touch the floor, and then come right back up. So we want to keep a nice long spine here, but then we twist just a little bit to reach back. Get those core muscles engaged. And you get a lot of information here. So notice how your back is feeling, your shoulders and your chest, your hip flexor. So if you're like aching, maybe just dial it back a little bit to start so everything gets a little warmed up. You're already halfway there. Ten seconds left. And time. Nice job. Sit up just a little bit taller. And now we're going to work into our hips a little bit. So we're going to take the knees over to one side and then see if you can just pick the knees up, roll around on the hip, take it over to the other side. So you're going to move at your range of motion. So even if that means you're just here and the knees rock side to side, but if you've got a little control and some good range of motion, you're rolling around on your bum, rocking those knees in a big wave side to side. And just getting those hips moving and grooving. If you feel anything pinching or if there's any sharp stuff, come back here, loosen it up. And then once you feel like you've got it loosened up, then go back to that bigger motion. But if everything's feeling good, roll around, move those hips, check with your knees, make sure everything's feeling good. 20 seconds left. And you can always put your hands down to help. So if it feels better to sit back in your hands and help them move you along, put your hands behind you, do what feels best. 9 seconds left, you got this. And time, nice work. Okay, now we're gonna come back to that V-sit and we're gonna grab our hand weights. It's in the shoulders, so a lightweight might be the better way to go. Feet nice and firmly grounded. We're gonna lean back into that V-sit, reach your arms out. We're gonna hold that V-sit and we're gonna alternate. One arm's gonna lift and then the other. So we're staying there for that full minute, alternating arms. So shoulder raise here, leaning back into our seat so our core is engaged the whole time. If you can, keep those knuckles lifted away from the knees so we're not touching down. We stay lifted and engaged the whole time. And then if this doesn't feel like quite enough of a challenge, you're going to pick the feet up and then continue those raises there. And the reason we're alternating the raises is so that we really force the core to stay nice and engaged. So we're not wobbling all over the place. We're staying nice and steady, moving out of the shoulders, but the abdominal muscles are helping control and keeping us nice and steady. 20 seconds left. You got this. Nice, you guys. That looks awesome. And time. Awesome job. Set those weights off to the side. And now we're going to take it into some roll-ups. If you want to use your theraband, you're going to take your theraband, wrap it around the bottoms of your feet, legs go long, and you're going to roll up and down, but your arms are not going to extend overhead. That's if you want to use the theraband. If you're going to go without the theraband, you're going to roll all the way down. Arms reach up and overhead. Take a big inhale. Exhale, we curl up the head, neck, and chest, press through the heels, roll up nice and strong, reach past the toes, and then we roll back down with control. Lowering through the spine in a nice controlled motion. TheraBand does give you feedback and can help assist that motion. And then if legs straight feels like it's just a little bit too intense, keep a bend in the knees. And then as you roll up, press into the heels, and then straighten your legs as you come up and reach past your toes if you can. And if you can match that breath with your movement, it's an inhale to come back, reach up and overhead. Exhale helps move you through the hardest part of the work. "20 seconds left. You got this. And time. Beautiful work. Bend your knees, come down onto your backside. We're taking it into a hip bridge, but we're going to hold the hip bridge up in the air. So feet about hip width distance apart, heels nice and close to the butt. Hands down alongside your hips, and we're going to press into the backs of the arms, press into the feet, lift the hips up, and we're going to keep them lifted. Once you've got a comfortable position in your bridge, we're going to start by picking up the heels. So we're going to press into the balls of the feet, and then lower the heels down, press into the heels and lift up the toes and the balls of the feet. So you feel that in the front of your shins. Press into the balls of the feet, lift the heels, lower the heels, pick up the toes and the balls of the feet. And then we're just going to alternate there. So we lift and lower. You're going to take it at your pace. If you need to set your butt down in between each, go ahead and do so. But if you can stay lifted, working through the bottoms of the feet with control, 20 seconds left. Nice, Liz. That looks great. Nice, Karen. Beautiful. Nice, Ting. And time. Nice job. All right. I gotta check my notes. Okay, we're gonna come up, back up to a seat and find a zigzag seat. So swing your legs over to one side and then get yourself situated so your butt feels good and comfortable. Hands behind the head. We're gonna think about pressing the head into the hands into the head, and then we're gonna lean forward and then come up nice and strong. So we're gonna keep that resistance of pressing the head into the hands and the hands into the head. And we're gonna lean out just as far as feels right to you, and then come up strong and with control. So notice your back muscles, notice your front inner thigh muscle and that hip muscle, but keep that little bit of press. So if you lose it, especially as you lean forward, stay engaged the whole time. Head is pressing back, hands pressing into the head. 14 seconds left here on this side. And time. Nice work. Okay, release your arms, give your shoulders a little shimmy shake, but we got to swing those legs over to the other side. So swing them around, get your zigzag seat all situated. Make sure hips feel good. And then right back to it, hands behind the head. Press the head into the hand, hands into the head. So we keep and maintain that really nice posture, leaning the chest forward just as far as you can, and then coming up with control. Keeping that nice contact of the head and the hands. Nice, you guys, that looks so good. Twenty seconds left. And time. Woo! Release your arms, shimmy out your shoulders. All right, we're coming into a high kneel position. And if you like, take your theraband with you. Theraband's just going to give you a little feedback in the shoulders. So we're going to come into our high kneel. Cushion your knees if you need. So put a little double tuck in your mat or whatever you like that makes you feel comfortable here. So we want to make sure that our heels are in line with the knees. We get a nice tall posture. We're going to take our theraband and hold it out in front of the chest, about shoulder width distance apart, so that we can get a little tug and feel that nice engagement in the back side of the body. So find that first, and then we're leaning back and coming forward. We're going to keep that nice strong structure through the front of the body. So think about pulling that front up to meet the ribs, and then we lean back, maintaining that nice connection there and leaning forward. You might feel it in the tops of your thighs. You might feel it in through the front whole chain of your body. And then when you're pulling that theraband apart, you might also feel that nice broadness and engagement in the shoulders and that opening in the chest and the collarbones. And you want to lean back just as far as you can control and come back up with control. Keep pulling that theraband apart so we maintain that connection in the backside and the shoulders. And time. Nice work. Lower your arms, give them a little shake. We're going to stay in a kneeling position. And then if you like, grab your hand weights. So challenge is with the hand weights. So you might start by thinking about just loading them up at the chest. And we're going to alternate stepping one foot forward and then the other. So that's the first one. If that feels like too much or stepping through with your hands up is too challenging, put your hands down. Step one foot up and then the other. So you still maintain a little bit of control and you're working that hip mobility, but with a little less focus on holding up the upper body. And then if you want the really big challenge, arms are going to be up and overhead. We step one foot forward and then the other. So you're going to pick the variation that you like best, that works best for your body. Nice, you guys, that looks awesome. And time. Nice work. Lower your arms if you're holding them up over the head. Give them a little shimmy shake. And now we're going to stay in a lunge. So step whatever foot you like forward first. We're going to do both sides, so it doesn't really matter. Put one weight down, and we're going to hold one single weight sideways. We're going to maintain this lunge position And then we're just going to start to draw big, giant circles with that weight around the head. So you're going to feel a little rotation in the shoulders. You're going to keep a nice stability. Your legs are going to stay nice and strong. You're going to engage the abdominal muscles just a little bit to help keep the legs steady and allow the shoulders to move in a nice controlled way. And we're just tracing that weight around the back of the head and then coming all the way around. Awesome. And then switch directions of your circles, but everything else stays the same. Legs are sturdy and strong. Abdominal muscles are pulled in just a little bit to help keep you nice and stable. And then if you feel like you're shortening those circles, draw just a little further. Find the back side of that skull. But if that's too much on the shoulders, maybe you stay right overhead and draw yourself a little crown, smaller circles if your shoulders get a little cranky. And time, nice work. Okay, we're gonna switch our stance. So step the other foot forward and then we're right back to it. Circling those arms around and overhead, maintaining that nice stableness in the center. Legs are nice and strong. And again, if those big circles are too much, make them small and just draw a little halo over your head. Nice, and then switch directions, go the other way. Beautiful, you guys, nice stability, woo! And time, woo, nice work. Lower those arms down, bring your knee back to a high kneel position and grab your theraband. So we're gonna take our theraband, bring it behind you, and you're gonna tuck it behind the crook of your knees. And then we're gonna bring the tail ends forward so that we can hold on to the tail ends of our theraband. So it's really gonna catch right in the hook of your knees. We're gonna take it from a hovering tabletop position, push the legs up and back into a down dog position. Lower into a hovering table, knees stay above the ground, and then press back. So we keep our theraband planted on the ground with our hands, holding it in place. If the theraband becomes too much, you can always take it off. Still want to keep those knees hovering off the ground. Abdominal muscles are engaged, pressing back through the legs, lowering with control. So see if you can make the coming up and coming down part of the work. So rather than ricocheting back down into that tabletop position, slow it down, control that motion, and then hover for a second. Nice, you're already halfway there. And time, nice work. All right, we're gonna move that theraband out of the way. Come on up into a standing position. And we're gonna take it into squats. If you want a loaded squat, grab your weights. But if you're feeling like loaded squat this morning is not for you, leave the weights off. We still got plenty of work to do. So stepping your feet so that they're about hip or shoulder width distance apart, or if you prefer a slightly wider squat, toes turned out. But we're gonna sink into a squat, tap one foot straight back, bring it in, tap the other foot straight back, bring it in, and rise up. Squat, tap, tap, and up. You're gonna take it at your pace. You're gonna find a nice rhythm here. Make sure your knees stay safe and comfortable. So we bring the weight a little bit back into the heels. Shift your weight as you step one foot back and then the other. Center yourself and rise back up. Nice. Keep your gaze forward. Keep a little firmness in your belly so your low back feels supported. Yes, you guys, nice. That looks amazing. And time. Beautiful work. Grab heavy weights if you like to switch around. Now we're going to move into some deadlift work. So legs are really strong. You can hold a lot of weight here if you like to. All right, so to start, we're going to take a staggered stance deadlift. So step your right foot back so that your toes and the balls of the feet are on the ground, but the heel is lifted. It's going to create just a little bit of instability. Hands forward, palms facing into your thighs. We're going to hinge from the waist, lean the chest forward, nice long spine, and lift yourself right back up. And hopefully you'll find some work in your left leg, in your standing leg. So lean forward, hinge from your waist, rise up and squeeze those glutes at the top. So give your booty a little squeeze as you come up. And then hopefully you're starting to feel that nice long line, that hamstring, the back of that left leg. Beautiful. Nice, Debbie, look good. And time, beautiful. Okay, we got to switch feet. So just switch your stance. Left foot back, right leg is going to be your standing leg, toe and the ball of the feet are on the ground. And then we're hinging from the waist, lean forward, come up, squeeze the glutes. We got 1 minute on the clock. You're working at your pace. If you've got heavier weights, go a little slower so that you're mindful and not yanking against the back of that leg. Squeeze those glutes to come up. Beautiful. If you're working with lighter weights, once you have that motion pattern down and everything feels safe, you can pick up the pace a little bit, get some extra reps in. Nice. And time, beautiful work. Okay, shake your legs out, but we got one more round of deadlifts to go. So feet about hip width distance apart. This time we're gonna see if we can keep both legs straight, arms down, hinge from your waist. Just go to the point where you feel sensation in the back of the leg. You don't have to go all the way down to the ground. Once you feel sensation in the back of the leg, strong with the backs of your legs, lift yourself up, give me a hammer curl, and lower the arms down. Hinge from your waist, lean over, come up, and give it a hammer curl. We got 1 minute on the clock. You're going to pay attention so that you're not yanking against the backs of the legs, keeping a long spine, rise up, squeeze the glutes, bend the elbows. Beautiful. If you've got that motion pattern down and it's feeling good, pick up the pace a little bit, but make sure you're only going as far as you feel sensation in the back of the leg, but you're not trying to tear up those hamstrings. Keep the glutes strong, keep the backs of the legs strong. Beautiful. Keep a little bit of a firmness in the belly so your low back feels supported. Nice long spine, strong whole back chain of the body. And time, beautiful work. Okay, now we're moving into reverse flies. So if you switch to heavier weights, it might feel good to switch back to a lighter weight or even use your theraband, but we're gonna keep a bent over position. Now bring a little bend back into the knees, a light bend in the elbows. We're gonna open the arms out nice and wide, lower with control. If you're using your theraband, you're gonna choke up nice and close on that theraband, pull it apart, and bring it back in with control. So everything is equal. The coming out and the coming in, both are providing work. So nice and slow and controlled. Open the arms wide and bring them back together. A little micro bend in the elbows. Feel that nice squeeze between the shoulder blades. Nice. Keep a little bit of a firmness in your belly so your low back feels nice and supported and we're not aching in the low back. Nice, Karen, that looks awesome. Yes, Ting, beautiful. Nice, Judy. Mara, Mama Debbie, girl, you ladies, you look good. Seven seconds left. You got this. And time. Beautiful. Come up. Give your back a little stretch. Woo! But we're going to sink into a little squat in position. So knees bent, set your butt down and back. Hands at the shoulders, and we're swimming. One arm reaches up, other arm reaches back. We're alternating sides and maintaining that nice squat position. So we're reaching out long through the back arm and up nice and high with that top arm. Beautiful. We got 1 minute on the clock. Take it at your pace. Keep that squat nice and strong. A little firmness in the belly. Moving out of the shoulders, but staying safe in that range of motion. So if it feels better to shoot that top arm a little straight out from the shoulder rather than that up and overhead reach, do what feels right to your shoulder. But if it feels comfortable to raise it up along the ear, go ahead and do that. Nice, you guys. $20 seconds left. And time. Beautiful. Woo! Rise up. Give everything a good shake. Stick with a lighter weight if you've got it. We're going to come to a nice wide stance and we're going to start throwing some uppers. So think of it as a sort of controlled bicep curl. We're just moving the hips, swiveling the feet, and lifting the elbows up. So we're going to keep a little bit of a 90 bend in that arm the whole time. And then we're just throwing some uppers here. So pivot those heels, swivel those hips, and let your shoulders move a little bit. Nice. And then just get a nice rhythm going. Get your heart rate up just a little bit. For our kickboxing people, this is a little throw right under the chin. For these last few seconds, if you can, catch that throw. So we stop short and engage those muscles in the shoulders. Nice. And time. Beautiful. Woo, shake everything out. 1 more minute of work we got to go here. Feet about hip width distance apart. Toes and knees pointing forward. Let your weights rest down alongside your hips. We're just going to lift the heels up and lower with control. That's all we got to do. 1 minute on the clock. Lift your heels as high as you like. Lower them with control. Watch that distance between your ankles So we want to maintain a nice equal distance. So the heels lift and lower with control, but we're trying to not let them collapse in. We're trying not to let them pigeon out. So we want to only lift as far as you can control, even if that means just an inch off the floor and then lowering back down until you increase that strength in the ankles. But if it's feeling good, lift it nice and high and lower it down. Nice. And time. Beautiful work. Okay, shake out those ankles, shake out those calves, set your weights off to the side so they're just out of your way. Cool. Now we're going to step the right foot back, toenails to the ground, and we're just going to get a little stretch to the top of the ankle. So we're going to gently press into the top of the foot, just to the point where you feel a little stretch in your ankle, and take 3 nice deep breaths. Cool. Now flip that foot down so the heel's on the ground, and then we're going to lean back, bend that back knee, peel the front toes up, hinge from your waist, lean over, and hopefully you'll feel a little stretch in the back of your calf. Nice. And then lift your chest up. And now we're going to switch sides. So step your right foot forward, left foot back, toenails to the ground, press into the tops of the foot so that you feel a little stretch through the front of your ankle. Take 3 deep breaths. Awesome. And then flip that foot over, lean back, bend that back knee, peel the front toes up, hinge from your waist, lean your chest forward, just to the point where you feel that little stretch in the back of your calf. Beautiful. Come up nice and slow. Give your ankles and your feet a little shake out, and then step your feet so they're about hip width distance apart. Bring your left arm across the body, grab the back of the arm, drop the shoulder down so you create a little space through the neckline. And then once you feel like you're there, take a couple gentle nods of your head up and down. Awesome. And then switch sides, take the other arm across, drop that shoulder down. Once you feel like you're there, lift the head up and down. Nice. And then head to stillness, drop those arms down. We're going to step the left leg across the right. So crisscross your legs. If you can line up your pinky toes, cool, but otherwise just crisscross them as much as they like to go. And then start by walking down, pause at the thigh, assess, take a nice big breath. Walk down just a little bit lower, maybe find your knee, pause, assess, take a breath. And then go as far as feels comfortable to you. So maybe you touch the toes or touch the floor, let your head drop nice and heavy, and take a nice big breath. Cool, and then come up nice and slow and controlled, and switch crosses of your feet. So the other leg comes across, line up your pinky toes, walk it down to the thigh, pause and assess. Awesome, and then walk it towards the knee, pause and assess. And then if all is feeling good, go as far as you like. Hands to the floor, hands to your toes, whatever feels good. Drop your head down and take a nice big breath. Nice, and then when you're ready, come up nice and slow. Unwind those legs, step them about hip width distance apart. Take a big breath, reach the arms up, a little gentle back bend, lift your chest, lift through the fingertips, and then hinge from your waist, fold all the way down. Bend your knees if your hamstrings are super tight. Drop your head down, take 1 good breath, and then bend your knees a lot. Pull your belly button and roll on up nice and slow. Take a couple gentle shrugs of your shoulders. Grab your foam roller if you're sticking around. Otherwise, I hope that you have an awesome Friday.